Greetings again, everybody. Today we are going to look at this isometric drawing, and as usual, we are going to set up our units. This time around, I'll put the precision to 0. If needs be, can be changed later. Okay, so after doing that, I'm going to set my limits to give myself enough drawing space. I'll leave the lower left hand corner to 0, and the upper left hand corner I'll put around this, and the drawing size I can have it 3000 by 3000. If needs be, I can change that later. And before drawing as well, I'm going to set up some new layers. My outline layer, center line layer, hidden line, dimension line. For the outline layer, I want a thicker line width, a line thickness. For the hidden line, I would want the actual hidden line. So select that. For the center line, I'd want an actual center line. As it relates to the color, I'll for the hidden line, I'll also change the line thickness. Okay, I might have to do some adjustments later, but for now, this can stay. Now to the drawing. I'm going to start using my outline. And I'm going to select the line command. Before that, I'm also going to ensure that my angle is at 30. Okay. Zoom out a bit. I'm going to draw a line. Ensure that my line weight is on. I'm going to draw a line 64 millimeters in length. I can move this line out of the way here. Now, if we look at the drawing, this length of the straight portion is 64. However, there's a curved portion at the end forming a semicircle. So that radius should be added to achieve the overall length of the drawing. So therefore, I'm going to extend the line by 16. So now the line is 80 millimeters. And since the radius of that portion is 16, the curve, I know that the diameter will be 32. So I know that the overall width of the drawing is 32. And the thickness of that portion that is extended forward is 8. So I'm going to put the 8. Alright. So I'm going to 32 across, 32 across. Alright. So I'm going to also bring this back 80. I have some trimming to do later. Now, a portion at the back, if you look carefully, there's a portion going up like this. This would continue upwards. We don't know the distance from here to here. It is not indicated on the drawing. However, we can attain it. If we look at the top of the shape that is right here, you'll realize there's a curve. Now, whatever the diameter of that curve is, that would be used as the measurement. So if you look at the top, we'll see R14. That's the radius of the outside curve at the top. So we will know that the measurement here should be 28 because that's the diameter. So I'm just going to pull this back 28, then bring up the line. There are a number of ways you could do this. You can also draw a line 28, but you would have know that you'd have to delete the line afterwards. So let's do it the first way. I'm going to pull back this line by 28, and this line I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to redraw it to the correct length that I'm seeing here, which is 36. After I've done that, I'm going to ensure that it meets the line here. So after bringing this up 36, I'm going to bring a line forward. This line should actually be a center line. So I'm going to ensure that I change it to a center line. And if you notice, my center line is showing a bit small. There are two options that you can use to change it. You can right click, go on properties. The properties of this line is being shown over here for me, but you can right click and go to properties. You can change the line type scale to a greater line, to a greater scale. But once you're doing this, you'd have to do it for every center line that you're working with. So rather than doing that, I'm going to change the scale down here. I'm going to try 1 into 10. After changing the scale, you have to regenerate the model. So you have to type the command regen. Now it's showing, I think it's a bit too big, so I'm going to use 5 as my scale. Once more type regen, and then I think it is good enough to where I would want. Now, if you know this, you realize that once you're drawing a center line to show the center of a circle, you have to draw one in the opposite direction. So, and I like to pull it directly, pull the line directly up to the center, so they meet like this. So, alright, so we know that the radius of this line is 14. The diameter is 28. So I'm going to use my construction line, the zero layer. I'm going to change the color of this. Let's use this color. So I am going to extend this 14. Bring it across. Extend 14. And you can trim. I'm also going to extend the line down to 14. Please ensure that it goes right through. Or if you're stopping it, do not stop it. Stop it where the X is. If you're not finding the X, just go right through and then trim. As we're not sure if the center of this line is actually where you want the measurement. So now that you have gotten your isometric box, you can now proceed to draw the isometric circle in the isometric box. So let's do that. Using the same construction line, I'm going to create what I would call the A pattern, and I'll connect the longer diagonals. So there you have the A. Now I am going to select my outline again. I'm going to draw a semicircle here and a semicircle here. Now this is how I'll do it. I'll select my arc command. Once I've selected my arc command, I am going to read the command line. It's telling me to specify the start point, but I want to specify the center first. So I'm going to press C, then enter. Then I specify the center. Then the start point of the arc I can choose here or here, but it normally operates anti-clockwise, so I'm going to select this point first and then swing the arc to the next point. Then I select that point. Now I've used this point to get this arc. Now for this arc, I'll have to use this point. So I'm going to select arc once more, then press C for enter, then press enter. Then I'm going to select the point here, then the starting point here, or to go anti-clockwise to meet here. Now there you have the arc. Right? This line now will go the full width of the drawing, 32 millimeters, and it will connect here. Now this is where AutoCAD makes life more easy or easier. If you notice, there's a space between the portion here and the portion that would be over here. The space is 16. And since the overall length is 32 or width is 32, the space is 16, that leaves a measurement of 16. So half would be taken up by this side and another half will be taken up by this side. So you'll have 8, the space, which is 16, and another 8. All of that will give you 32. So I'm going to take this portion and I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to select these 3 lines. I'm going to select copy. Then I select the base point, which is here. Then I'm going to pull it across to the end, like this. Then I'm going to go back to my outline. Then select this point and allow it to meet up with that point, which is the center of this arc. Now we have to trim the portion that will not be shown, which is this portion. Now I'm going to do 2 more copies. I'm going to copy this arc once more, or these 3 lines once more, but I'm going to copy it using the same base point, but copy it at a distance of 8. I'm still going to zoom in and delete this portion. I'm also going to take these 3 sets of lines and arcs and copy once more, but from this base point right here. I'm going to pull to the opposite direction. Now I'm going to type 8 just the same. Alright, so this is what I should have done. So let me delete this. I should have copied this one. So I'm going to copy at this base point. So I think the measurement that I should use is 24. 8 plus the 16. The reason being, I need this curve to be, this arc should remain. So I'm going to trim what I don't need. And there should be a line coming down here. You will see past this arc here. So this is what you will have. You could have just drawn this portion only. So let me show you how this would happen. You would have copied these 3 arcs, copy, type 8, then you would just connect the top of the arcs from this point, then you delete or trim this portion, then you select all these arcs, then you would have just copied from this base point all over to here. All you would have to do now is trim this line. So go to your trim command, you trim this line. Alright, so you can now go ahead and trim out this portion using the trim command. Using the line command, you would just pull this back. You would not see it there, this number here. Now for this front portion, you will establish your center line. So I'm going to select the center line. Alright, once I've done this, then I'm going to find the center in the other direction. So I should draw this up by 16, pull this across, should delete this first line, I don't need it. Yes, the no line should be here. So this is 16. Alright, so I need another line that is 16. So I'm going to draw a line from here to here, 16, then bring it across. Then I'm going to delete this first line that I've drawn. You can trim the center line here if you wish. Alright. Now, this is your isometric square again. Then you're going to go ahead and draw your A pattern once more. By now you should all know how to draw this. Then I'm going to need 2 arcs once more. This arc and this arc. So like the last time, I'm going to select arc. I'm going to press C, enter. Then select the center. I'm going to swing anti-clockwise. I've used the incorrect layer to do so. So I'm going to transfer that to the correct layer. All I did was select the arc, go into the layers tab, select outline, then press escape. It will go back to the layer that I was selecting, I was using, so I'm going to switch it to outline. That's the layer that I want to use. Then I am going to select arc once more, then press C, enter, select the center point, swing from anti-clockwise in an anti-clockwise direction. Now, if you realize I really don't need this line anymore, I don't need this line anymore, and I don't need this line anymore. And this line would need to be trimmed. This line would need to be trimmed. Now, look carefully. I am going to draw a line from this point downwards, and this line will be 8 millimeters. After doing so, I'm going to copy these 2 arcs, So I'm going to select them, press the copy command, and from this point, or any point really, but this point is more convenient, I'm going to bring this down 8. Now, since you've drawn the line 8, you just bring it down on the line. Then we are going to trim some more parts, like for example here, here, and here. Now we cannot trim here, we just have to delete this line. Now, in order to show my working or show what happened, I'm going to select my default layer, which is my construction line layer. I'm going to extend this up to this. I'm going to extend this out 32 for it to meet back here. So you see the box that this was drawn in. Now, for the small circles, so let's go ahead and draw the small circles. There is going to be a semicircle here. There's going to be a semicircle further up. Okay, so let's start here. If you realize there's a space of 24 millimeters between the center of the circles that we're supposed to draw. So I'm going to take this line, select copy, select the center. I'm going to pull it in this direction and type 24. And then I'm going to extend this line. Now, in order to not be confused, I'm going to draw the circle here, nothing here. So this is the center. So I'm going to select enter the hem on the construction line layer. So from the center, I'm going to go in this direction. The radius is 6, so I'm going to go 6, go across 6, go across 12, 12, 12, then 6 again, or I could just select this line and pull it across. So now we have 12 going around. That's one way to do it. I could have also done this. Copy, 6, copy, 6, and these lines I'm going to type MA for match properties, then press enter, select the source line and transform these other two lines into that source line. Then you would copy again, 6, copy from this guy, 6 in the other direction. Then you're going to turn these two lines. You can use match properties, or you could just select the lines, then click the layer that you want it to be in. Then you're going to go to fillet. By default, it should be set to 0, so you should be fine. So you press fillet, select one line, select the other line, select, press fillet again, one line, the other line, press fillet again, one line, the other line. So I've shown you two ways how to get this. Now, once you have this, now you're going to just draw the A pattern once more. Then you're going to draw your arc. Select arc, press center, C, then enter, rather. Then you're going to, oh, I should have used my outline. Now, I am, for the sake of this, I'm going to draw the entire circle. So I'll show you why. Swing, swing, and look at this new trick. Once I have 2, I can select the arc. If you don't know how to do this method, just use how you know to draw everything. Use the method that was taught, but this is a method that can speed the work up. You can just select the arc, select the mirror, select the opposite corners, then you have it mirrored. Same thing with this circle, or arc rather. Select mirror, select the opposite corners, or the shorter corners that are opposite. Then erase. You normally don't erase the source object because you don't want to erase the arc that is being mirrored. Then you have this. If you notice, this is the same circle that is supposed to be here. So I'm going to copy this circle. I'm going to copy everything, even the working out. So I'm going to select everything, and sure that everything is being selected, and I'm going to press copy from the center. I'm going to select the center, bring it down to here. Once I have done this, I can now, I don't need this arc, I don't need this arc, delete. I don't need this arc, I don't need this arc. I'm going to delete. Then you're going to draw a line connecting the arcs. Alright, now you're going to select some arcs to copy, because this is a hole, and you can see at the end of the hole. I'm going to copy this arc and this arc. I may need to copy this one, but let's see first. Let me select it. So you're going to select copy, and you can really select any point to, as your base point. I'm going to select here for strategic reasons, and I'm going to pull this down 8, and it should be here. You can just type 8, you can just pull it down to this point where it's intersecting now. Now I realize that I didn't need this at all to be copied, so I'm going to delete this. I'm going to trim here, and I'm going to trim here, zoom in, trim here. Now you're seeing the hole. It looks a bit confusing, but if you follow the steps, you'll know how it is derived. Now I am going to need to draw a circle here. Now that circle is, the radius of that circle is 20 millimeters, so the diameter rather, so the radius is 10 millimeters. So I'm going to need to draw a square that is 10 millimeters. So from the center, I'm going to draw a line 10, right? Then from this point now, I'm going to use this point to draw the square. So you can 10, then 20, then 20, then 20, then 10. Or if you want to extend this line to the last point up here, either way works. Now that is your box. You're going to draw your A pattern. Now this may look a bit confusing, but remember, this is the box that we are working with. So don't let this A pattern confuse you with the one that you're currently drawing. Right? So let me delete this line. I'll delete that. So this is the point that you're going to use now. Let me go back to my outline. And then select the arc, press C for enter, right here. Then you're going to swing from here to here. Arc again, center, C, enter. This one from here to here. Arc again, C, enter. This one, and you know where to put this, anti-clockwise. Then arc again, C, enter this point. I'm swinging across. Right, so I have the circle. Now the easy part. I'm going to select this line, or this arc, and this arc. And I'm going to select copy. And I'm going to copy it from here. Look at the base point that I'm using, from here to here. I could have just simply typed 8 and pull it in the direction 30 degrees. But it's good when you have a reference point can use. And I'm going to trim. And the beauty about AutoCAD, you can simply select all the lines that are involved in constructing this circle. Then I'm going to select the arcs that I need to be copied over. So these 4 arcs plus this, and this. Then I'm going to select copy. So this will be my base point. Then over to here. Now I'll know that I need to trim here. Now the beauty about AutoCAD is you can turn off your construction layer and the join will look like this. I'm going to also copy the center line. Copy from here to here. So we could go ahead and turn back on my construction line layout. And here you have it, the join. Alright, I hope you grasp the concept of drawing this, and I hope that you were paying attention to some of the tricks that I was using in to attain this drawing. So in the next series I'll move on to the next drawing.